So we're back for another VGC guide, and this time we're looking at Sableye. If you are considering using Sableye on your team, you've got to consider, should you use Sableye, or should you use Murkrow or Grimmsnarl? Because those are three support Prankster Dark types that all do noticeably different things. Murkrow gets the Prankster Tailwind, that's a huge one. Murkrow also gets Prankster Quash, but if you are going for Prankster Quash, Sableye does it a little bit better. Because you've already Tailwinded, why do you need to Quash? Only really for Trick Room. So Grimmsnarl has the offenses, like it can actually do damage itself while still supporting, whether that's with the screens or with the Thunder Wave or parting shots and all that. Sableye has a couple of things that it does a lot better than Murkrow and Grimmsnarl. It can Prankster Will-O-Wisp. That is a huge thing. So Murkrow can Prankster Feather Dance. That's okay. Will-O-Wisp is permanent. So if you land the Will-O-Wisp, that is a crippled physical attacker for the rest of the game, which is very nice. So Prankster Will-O-Wisp is a big thing that Sableye has. It also has Prankster Encore. It got that last generation. Prankster Encore is brilliant. We've seen that on Whimsicots in previous generations as well. It was not as good last generation because you couldn't Encore Dynamax Pokemon, or they could Dynamax out of the Encore. Now you can just Encore them. Guaranteed. So it's a very, very nice move on Sableye. And Quash is also very good on Sableye as well. Sableye is one of the better Quasher, or I say one of the better. There's two of them. There's Murkrow and Sableye does the Quash slightly better because at the point you're Quashing, if you're not in Trick Room, you might as well just be Tailwinding with the Murkrow. So Quash is very nice on the Sableye indeed. And then you get to go just foul play, just like a Murkrow would, so that you can just bulk yourself out and not have to worry about your offenses at all. So this is able to survive a Sylveon Hyper Voice on the special side, because you've got Will-O-Wisp, so you don't need defense as much, because you're going to patch that up with Will-O-Wisp, so mostly special defense, but able to survive a Sylveon Hyper Voice. And because your HP is quite low, Citrus Berry helps to patch that a bit. You don't have to worry about anything like a Mental Herb or anything, because most things that would taunt you are Prankster. Didn't know you could do that. That's the first time I've ever clicked on Dark. Don't know what just happened there. Oh, there we go. I just moved it slightly. That's the first time that's ever happened. Learning something new every day. So, yeah, Prankster Taunt will not affect a Dark type Sableye. So, then you don't have to worry about Mental Herb or anything like that. Citrus Berry is very good on this because it can patch up its low HP. So, this is a perfectly reasonable moveset. I don't know if this is one of the best ones, but it's basically just pick your favorites. So, pick your attack. This is not a recommended moveset, but these are moveset recommendations, as well as the EV spread. It's possible to be Focus Sash here. If you are Focus Sash and max attack, Knockoff does okay damage. So you could justifiably run Knockoff as an attacking move if your Focus Sash is free and you don't care about going with the extra bulk. So Focus Sash, Knockoff, very good. I wouldn't recommend Knockoff on just this set, especially because you would then be careful. But even then, your attack stat would be very pitiful. You might as well foul play things. This would only be for a Sash max attack set. Otherwise, Fake Out and Feint are very good moves as well. Those are moves that can fit onto this moveset over just one of the things. You can drop anything on here for any of these moves. And these ones as well coming up. But these are good offensive moves. So if you want to drop Foul Play, then you can put one of these on. I would still feel uncomfortable with Fake Out over Foul Play and then Will-O-Wisp One-Core Quash. That's still fine, because Sableye is a pure support Pokemon. Doesn't really matter if it's not doing any damage, and Will-O-Wisp will eventually chip them down. Like, that will break a Sash. Not on the same turn, but it will break a Sash, so you can get away with Fake Out over Foul Play. And then Fake Out and Feint are a good combination as well. I probably wouldn't have both, because a lot of Pokemon can go for Fake Out and Feint as the combination. You want to be making use of Prankster Sableye as much as you can. But you could have Snarl over Foul Play. That will still do some chip damage, that'll break Sashes. And then you have the combination of Snarl and Will-O-Wisp. That's perfectly fine as well. But I would have Snarl over Foul Play. I wouldn't have Foul Play and Snarl, because then at that point you might as well start to be another Dark type. The point of Sableye is to do all the Prankster shenanigans. So choose one of these attacks, I would say, and then have it in the Foul Play slot if you were going to go for that. Otherwise, here are some other good supporting moves that Sableye does have access to. It gets Thunder Wave now. It didn't in previous generations. Apparently, it now gets Thunder Wave. But if you are going with Thunder Wave on Sableye, you got to consider, should you be a Grimmsnarl? Because Grimmsnarl probably does the Thunder Wave stuff better than Sableye, because it's bulkier already, and you'd be bulking yourself out with a Prankster Will-O-Wisp. So if you're going Prankster Thunder Wave, it's still usable on Sableye, but probably use Grimmsnarl instead on that point. Again, Taunt, still fine on Sableye, but should it be a Grimmsnarl? Disable is something that Grimmsnarl can't do. And the Helping Hand is something that Grimmsnarl can't do. So these would be two very good support moves on Sableye as well. If you do have the combination of Encore and Disable, that could be quite annoying for the opponent. Especially because they're both at Prankster priority. So that would be very sweet indeed. And then Helping Hand paired with Fake Out would be very good. So if you had Fake Out and Helping Hand, I've said in previous guides why that's a great combination. It's really good for helping your support Pokemon, because then you can go for Fake Out on one turn and set up, and if your Pokemon is not quite strong enough to get the KO, then you can just go for a Helping Hand and blow them up and get the KO that way. And also paired with Quash, if you have Fake Out, Helping Hand, and Quash. So for example, if it was this moveset, this would be very good for helping out your setup Pokemon. So the other moveset would probably be more splashable on team. This would be great for support Pokemon, because if you are setting up and it's not a speed boosting setup, you can go for Fake Out, set up on the first turn. If you're strong enough, then you can just Helping Hand, if you're not quite strong enough, I should say, you could Helping Hand help push it over the edge. And if you have just bulked up, or calm-minded, or whatever, you know, that kind of setup, and you're not fast enough, you can then Quash while you've set up to get the KO that way. So this would be a very good Sableye for helping set up Pokemon, but Will-O-Wisp and Encore are just fantastic moves as well. It is quite hard to not use those when that is an option. Like especially Encore. Prankster Encore is massive. Especially in this generation where Dynamax is gone, you can Encore everything you want. So yeah, definitely consider that. But it is basically pick your favorites. Pick the attacking move that you want. You should have an attacking move. You can get away with just Fake Out. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible, and it's fine. It will work sometimes. Like I'm uncomfortable with it, but it's fine. Choose your attacking move, and choose your favorite support moves. But just be careful. If you're using Thunder Wave or Taunt, should you have been a Grimmsnarl? Because the point of Sableye is to make use of the things that it can do better than Grimmsnarl. And there's lots of things it can do better than Grimmsnarl. So, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Encore, Prankster Quash. So, definitely worth considering over Grimmsnarl. And Murkrow as well.